Hi, this is Kym Watson of Easy Trader. Welcome to a review of the key economic news events which are being released in the coming week. The key thing that's on the back burner there and could cause major volatility throughout the week remains to be the new Greek government, which wants to, it would appear that it wants to play hardball at the moment in terms of the austerity measures and what it's actually going to do and paying back the loans that it owes, etc. Now, this in itself, it's the great unknown. So the euro dollar remains on risk for me during the week, and that doesn't mean I won't trade it, but got to bear in mind that things could get volatile at any period on any news that comes from this. Of course, it's in the mind's eye of a lot of people at the moment, so they'll be watching it very carefully and looking to see how negotiations go as we move forward. Plenty more news coming out this week. As I say, the fallout continues. We've got the PMI figures for US, UK, interest rate decisions for Australia and UK, and obviously the US non-farm payrolls first week of the month. So looking through the week, we've got the UK manufacturing figures coming out on Monday at 9th. My expectational analysis on this is moved down to somewhere like 20, well, somewhere between 10 and 20 points. So the actual volatility around this has dropped off quite considerably of late. So I'm not expecting major moves. Won't be necessarily trying to trade it per se, although there may be some possibly post-trade moves coming from this. Looking then forward in the afternoon, we've got the US ISM manufacturing figures coming out at 3 o'clock. This hasn't really created a lot of volatility, but it can help the markets on their way a little bit further. So it's just something to watch out for at 3 o'clock. Moving on to Tuesday. For those up early, we've got the Australian interest rate decision as statement. This, again, it's one of those figures that it can create a bit of volatility. Hasn't done too much of late. I think last month in December it didn't really. In December it didn't really kick too much. We'll see how things roll off this month, but it seems to run towards the sort of 20 to 30 point moves. They may just surprise the market here with some sort of rate decision or something within the statement, but for now, certainly I won't be getting up to trade that. Looking forward to the morning then, we've got the UK construction PMI coming out at 9:30, so some figures coming out there. Again, this one has reduced its significance quite a lot lately. We've been seeing in December we saw around about 10 pip move, 14 pip in January, so very low volatility around that number at the moment, but it's still a key figure. Looking forward to Wednesday, we've got UK services out at 9:30. Now this is probably the most key of them all, but again, expectation analysis on mine is around about 20-22 pips, so it's relatively low volatility to where it was, but it may give us again a post-trade move. Looking towards lunchtime, we've got the ADP non-farm payrolls. This has been as useful as chocolate teapot in terms of trading. It's created very little volatility of late. Finally, we got the US non-manufacturing figures coming out at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. That can create a bit of volatility, but again, nothing significant. Thursday, Bank of England interest rate decision at 12 o'clock. It's all expected to be left pretty much alone, and I would be very surprised if we see a statement that changes this or suggests anything else at this point. Moving on to Friday, we've got the US non-farm payrolls. Again, we're looking at earnings in this as probably the most important factor. Average earnings is the key thing to be watching there. But that figure can still create, and did last time. It created about a 44 pip move in January. We are seeing it move slightly better than it had done. We used to move sort of 80s, 90s sort of pips, but it's the fact that interest rates may be increased sooner than later in the US, it may bring bit more significance around these numbers if they're good or bad. So we may get some more volatility starting to pick up there. Certainly something I'll be looking to have a trade at. And then finally on Friday we've got the Canadian non-farm payrolls out at the same time, which muddies the water when you're trying to trade these if you're using the US CAD. So it's because they're both being released at the same time, so non-tradable for me, so I'll be just looking at non-farms there. Okay, that's the week ahead. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.